5th.
October 5th. We have coming. Matt Fraser is going to be here. You guys know him from his show. You know him. He is one of America's top mediums out there. He is amazing. And
on top of that, he's also a New York Times bestselling author of his new book, We Never Die. I mean,
busy man.
He's a very busy man. And Matt, we welcome you to the show this morning. How are you?
Good. It's great to be here with you both.
Oh, man, we're so excited to have you here, man. We're looking forward. How's the tour going so far? How much fun are you having?
I am having so much fun. It's amazing because not only do I get to meet the living, but I get to meet the dead as well. And sometimes that's even more fun.
Yeah, sometimes they're more interesting than the living, I'm sure, as you talk to them. But, you know, it's funny, and doing and listening to some of your talk show interviews, things like that. One of the things I found interesting is when you discovered that you had this gift, when you discovered you could do this, it wasn't something you wanted to run to necessarily when you first discovered it, was it?
No, it was something I wanted to run away from because, when I first discovered that I could see and hear dead people, I was just a little kid. I was just 3, 4, 5 years old, and the souls would try to come and speak to me at the most random times. When I was alone playing by myself, when I was going to bed and trying to go to sleep, and I was petrified. I had no idea what was happening because for me, it was like living that movie, The Sixth Sense.
Oh,
What I
yeah.
didn't understand at the time what I didn't understand at the time is that these were not, ghosts. These were actually souls that have died that were just using me to try to get in touch with their loved ones. And the sad part is I didn't understand that until later on in life when I went to see a medium myself. And then I realized at that moment, oh my God, I can use this gift to help people to heal by putting them back in touch with those that they love and miss.
That's incredible. Do you by chance remember like the first time that you really realized, whoa, something's going on? You know what I mean? Like, I know you're scared, but do you remember like the first time you said as a kid you were playing or anything and something happened and it really caught you off guard?
Oh
Like,
yeah, I'll never forget it. I mean, things like that you don't forget. I remember I was like, I had to be about 3 years old at the time, and my mom had just put me to bed. And I remember opening my eyes, and there was just this man that was standing there, and I started screaming for my mom, and then immediately he had disappeared. And I mean, that was the first time where I didn't understand what was happening, what I saw, why it was happening. And, it was shortly after that that these occurrences started happening few and far in between.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so Matt, this starts happening to you as a child. Like, how does this go? Is this something you kept to yourself for a while? When did you start speaking to your family about the potential that you thought there was there, that you were really talking to people in the afterlife and that you could help people? And how did that go, that conversation with your family? And when did you decide to do it? When did you tell them? Was it immediate?
Well, you got to know that the psychic ability has run in my family from generations to generations. So my grandmother was a medium, so was my mom, so am I. But you got to know that even though I say they were mediums, right? It just means that they were gifted. So my grandmother never did this publicly. My grandmother never, ever, ever, read people publicly. She actually kept it so secret that not even my own grandfather knew that she did it. So she kept it secret. My mom kept it secret. They really never shared or looked into their abilities. And then, for me, I grew up having the same thing happening to me, but in a different way. My grandmother would get visions about the future. She would sense future events. My mom is one that is a life psychic. She can tell, what's going to happen, for you, to you 3 years from now, 5 years from now, who you're going to marry. And me, I grew up with a different gift which was seeing and hearing the departed. So, my mom and my grandmother, especially in the time in which they lived, you had to keep these things a secret. So they never talked about it. They never spoke about it. They really just focused on pushing it away. And when I was growing up, I did the same thing. It wasn't until later on in life, I want to say I was like 18, 19 years old. Actually, it's a little bit before that. I was about 17 years old. I went to go and see a medium myself because I wanted to see what this was that I had been running away from, what it was that my family had been running away from. And, going to see a medium for the first time changed my life forever because I realized at that moment it wasn't something I had to keep hidden. It was something that I could use to change the world and to help people.
Yeah, and it had to take courage too, because obviously when you decide, to tell people that you have this ability, there's going to be skeptics. There's going to be people that either they're not going to believe it. They're going to think it's a scam. They're just going to think you're making it up. So I mean, you had to deal with that, obviously, that criticism and things like that. How did you navigate through that? Because I'm sure that happens to you a lot, and that's happened to you in the past. How do you navigate through that in a positive way?
Well, it was really hard at the beginning because here were, family members and also friends of mine that I've never shared this with back when I was younger, right? Where
Right.
all of a sudden I'm telling people I'm a medium, they're like, "Wait a minute, how the hell did you just become a medium?" It's like, "Well, no, this has been happening to me. I just didn't share it. I didn't talk about it." So, that was a really hard transition. And to be honest with you, I lost friends over this. They were friends that were like, what is like they thought like I was going through like a crisis or something. They were like, how is it that Matt all of a sudden is a medium and saying that he speaks to the dead and having these visions? And then there were people in my life who really embraced it. And when you go through moments like this, you realize who your friends are and
Yeah.
who was never your friend to begin with. So, there were a bunch of people that fell out of my life, and that was okay because I realized I was doing something greater, or I was on a greater mission, and that was to really hone in and to discover what this gift was, what it was all about, what I could do with it. And what I realized was that this was so much deeper than I ever imagined, that I could use this gift to help people to find answers. So many people, have lost a loved one and didn't know what happened to them. Are they okay on the other side? Are they at peace? And I realized that this gift was really a tool in the toolbox that I could use for people to really show them that the afterlife is real. Your loved ones are there, they are at peace, and that you can get in touch with them at any time.
It gives me chills.
That's awesome. No, it really is.
It does. It gives me chills. We all have lost somebody. I mean, we've all lost people where we didn't get to say goodbye, perhaps, or weren't sure why or how they passed away, and it is like that love never ends. So you're concerned for them. Like, even though they're gone, it's like you want to hope that they're in a better place and you want to hope that they're okay. And Matt, your ability is incredible to be able to give people that. You say it best. You're able to give people that peace and that gift. And I I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I have always been kind of a skeptic. Like, is it real? Is it, you know what I mean? Like, can people really connect on that level and really do that clarity? But over the past week or so, since we've been, watching more and more of you reading audiences and things like that, I mean, there's something there. There's something there.
Absolutely.
Well,
Go ahead, Matt.
I gotta tell you, I think everybody is a skeptic, right? Everybody walks in skeptical, and you should walk in skeptical. I want you to walk in skeptical because no one should just take someone's word that they speak to the dead or connect with the other side. But that's why I love doing what I do, and that's why I love an event like this, because when you attend an event, it's so much more than just a show. It's an experience. It's experiencing undeniable proof of life after death, because during the event, it's amazing on what happens. And by the way, I never know what's going to happen. I'm just as surprised as the audience because every single event is different. One minute I might be talking to somebody's mother that had passed away in the front row, and the next I have to go in the back because someone had lost their son or their daughter. The next thing I have to be off to the side because someone had lost their sister or their brother. Really, what's truly amazing is the validations that the souls give us. I mean, I think everybody walks in nervous, unaware, not sure what to think, and then they leave with their life forever changed, just realizing, oh my God, there is another life after this one. And that's what I'm really hoping my show shows people.
Yeah, and when people, and I was going to ask you that too, you just touched on a little bit. When people come to the show at MGM and they come in and you come out on stage, how exactly does it work for you? Because I mean, I can understand, like, if you were sitting down in this room right now with Lauren and I, it's just the three of us. It's intimate, I can see, but like you're going to be looking out at hundreds and hundreds of people. So how does it work for you in that situation when you're kind of looking out at a faceless crowd to focus? Like how does that when it comes to you? How exactly does it work on the tour?
So what's really cool is it's actually the souls on the other side that guide me. So really what happens is the moment I take the stage, the moment I'm up there, is that I'll start to hear your loved ones in spirit. And what happens is that they'll be like, okay, Matt, you need to come over here. I'm this person's son that died. That's my mother sitting in the second row. And I'll know that that was that woman's son that had passed away. And I'll come up to her and I'll be like, oh, excuse me, but your son had passed away. And then from there, I might hear, oh, I'm this person's father. I'm 3 rows back in the balcony. You need to come to me. And then I'll go over to the balcony. So really, it's really cool because I don't pick the people. Your
Right.
loved ones in spirit do. And that's why it does not matter where you sit during this event. It doesn't matter if you're sitting way in the front or way the hell in the back. If there is a message from your loved one, I will get it to you no matter what.
So you walk out there and you truly have no idea where it's going to take you every night.
I have no idea. It drives my crew crazy because they're like, Matt, do you think you're gonna be in this area? I have no idea where the hell I'm gonna be. It
Right.
all depends on the souls and what souls need to let their message be heard. Because if your loved one is coming through, just remember one thing: souls don't come through to just be like, oh hey, it's all good in heaven. I'm sitting here with Auntie Sheila. Really, what it is that souls come through from the other side because there's something that they need to say. Maybe they didn't get to say goodbye. Maybe your loved one passed of suicide and they want to talk about their passing and bring, answers to why they did what they did. Maybe your dad passed away and you didn't get to be there. These are the real messages that have to come through. And it's the reason why your loved ones come through, because there is a such thing as unfinished business. There are times when your loved ones go to the other side and they're like, oh my God, I wish I would have gotten to tell my daughter this, and this. Or, oh my God, I see that my daughter or my son is suffering so much since my passing because they don't know exactly how I died. So I have to tell them this, and this. Or maybe it's that, you just got married and your dad's coming through to let you know he was there at the wedding and saw what you did for him. These are the messages that truly, truly need to reach family.
Well, let me ask you this: as someone who's a media and a world-known one, everyone knows who you are.
Oh, by the way, he's been endorsed by like Johnny Wahlberg, and I mean he's got some very notable people. Kelly Clarkson talks about how amazing you are in your work and your talents, and I mean he's definitely read with some notable people.
Do you ever get tired of, like, maybe you meet someone, you talk to them, and everyone's just like, "Hey, nice to meet you, Matt. Hey, talk to my grandma," or you know what I mean? Like, to where sometimes you can't just have a conversation with someone because the second they talk to you, but after they introduce themselves, they want a reading right then and there.
You know what's funny? That actually never happens. I gotta be honest. And I think the reason why is because when people, first of all, there's two reasons why. Is that if I meet somebody and I send something, I'm gonna say something. But also at the same time, people who know my work and know what I do know that when it comes to the other side in the afterlife, souls have to come through. Meaning that, at the medium, I don't pull your loved ones down. I don't be like, hey, searching for Henry's dad. Has anyone seen Henry's dad in the afterlife? What happens is that you bring your loved ones with you every day. So I'm going to share with you actually what just recently happened. I was actually going and walking to get my mail, and there was this man who had walked by me. And when he was walking by, he was just taking a walk down the street. And when I was looking at him, there was actually a dog that had passed away that was following him in spirit. So I never saw this man before, didn't know who he was, but anyways, I went up and introduced myself, and I'm like, hi, I'm like, I live over here. I'm Matt, I'm a medium. I connect with people who had passed. I'm like, did you just lose your dog? Because I see this dog walking down the street with you. It's this beautiful, golden retriever. And the man started crying, and he's like, yeah, he says, that was my best friend. He says, I got the dog after my wife had died. He says, many years ago, and that dog was my salvation. He goes, the dog got me up every day, got me out of bed every day. I walked the dog, fed the dog. Well, anyways, the dog was still walking with him down the street. And even though he says, I went on this walk alone without the dog, he says, and I still walk every day because, he remembers this time with the dog.
Yeah.
And it was amazing to him because, first of all, he didn't know that pets made it to the afterlife. And that was validated to him. But also at the same time, he was completely blown away that he had that soul with him. Well, we all have souls with us. When you're on your morning commute, when you're going to work, when you're stressed out, when you're at home, cooking meals, you have loved ones that are there that are peeping in on your life and watching over you. And the reason why is because the same way that we log into Facebook, the same way we log into Instagram to see what our loved ones are doing when we can't be there and we send pictures and text messages, your loved ones are kind of doing the same thing, just from a different world.
Incredible.
Wow.
That's incredible. Matt, this has been an awesome
Yeah.
conversation. Really, really cool. Again, the tour is coming to MGM Northfield Park on October 5th. We can't wait for you to come to town. It's going to be a great experience for everyone that shows up there.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you want more information about Matt himself, you can go to mattfraser.com. There's tons of information there. You can order his book, which you should do if you found this conversation interesting, which I don't know how you can't, because I'm blown away. I'm floored by your work, Matt. And we really appreciate you taking time out of your very busy schedule. I know you've got a lot of tour dates lined up. And before you go, we just have to say congratulations. We heard a rumor from people the other day that you're expecting baby number 2 with your wife.
I am. And by the way, Lauren, the website is meetmattfraser.com, by
I'm
the
so
way.
sorry. Yes.
That's all right. Listen, if the dead people can find me, so can you. Just
They can still Google you. Yeah.
yeah, so just meetmattfraser.com is the best way to get in touch with me. And yes, we are expecting baby number 2. We just announced it yesterday. We are so over the moon excited. I'm so excited to be coming back to MGM Northfields as well.
It's going to be a
that's
great time.
awesome.
Matt, thank you so much for the time.
Congratulations.
And enjoy everything, and we'll see you at MGM.
Thank you so much.